So we're gonna get right into seasoning the chicken. I've already cleaned it with vinegar and lime, and I have my seasons off to the side. So I'm just gonna be showing you what I'm putting in the chicken as we go by. So the first thing is I'm using Lori's seasoned salt. When you're making jerk chicken, you want to be a little bit light-handed when it comes to seasoning because I'm going to use the Walkerswood Jerk seasoning, and that has a lot of seasoning. I'm adding some adobo, some maggi seasoning, some accent. You can also use whatever seasoning that you guys have in your house. This is not limited to only what I use. And of course, sazon, which is, I believe, one of my favorites. So you're going to see me use two different versions of barbecue sauce, or two different brands. I'm also using a teaspoon of brown sugar. Now, the barbecue sauce is optional. I decided to use it because I didn't want the jerk chicken to be extremely spicy. So I added barbecue sauce just to kind of balance it out a little bit and give it a sweeter taste. So you can add as much or as little as you prefer. And this is the Walkerswood Jerk seasoning, and I'm using mild. So I used 2 teaspoons of this generous amount of teaspoon. That was almost like a tablespoon. And of course, I'm just going to rub this all in, and I'm going to put foil paper, and I actually let it sit overnight. So this is what it looks like when it's all rubbed up together. And you just want to let that marinate. And I let this sit overnight and cooked it the next morning. So you're gonna notice that my lighting kind of changes a little bit, but that's because when I originally started recording this video, I was using my ring light, but it was just too much work to set up a ring light and camera. So what you see me doing now is adding some olive oil to my baking pan. You can use whatever brand olive oil you have. And I'm just putting the chicken inside of the pan, and I already have my oven preheated, so I'm going to put this in the oven for about 45 minutes. I did cover the pan. I did cover the pan with foil for about 45 minutes. So this is what it looks like. And I'm putting the rest of the marinade all over the chicken. So what you're going to see me doing in the next clip is I'm making rice and peas. Now, I had all intentions of making callaloo rice. And when I went into the cabinet, I noticed that I did not have any callaloo. So what I decided to do was just make rice and peas. What you see me putting in the pot is a piece of coconut cream. So definitely whenever you're making rice and peas, coconut cream is very important. So I'm just putting the lid on and letting that simmer and let the coconut cream melt. What you see me doing here, I'm actually washing the rice. You can use whatever brand rice you prefer. I'm using parboiled rice. I believe it was Carolina parboiled rice. And I'm using 2 cups of rice. Now, of course, depending whatever your family size is, if you're just cooking for yourself, you know, you're going to use as much or as less rice as you prefer. So you want to wash your rice until the water is clear. So that's what I'm doing right here. Okay, so I'm adding the peas. I'm using canned peas, Grace, pigeon peas. Add a little more. I'm also going to add a few ingredients. So what you're going to see me add is what you're going to see me add is thyme, scallion, and Scotch bonnet pepper. I'm also going to add some salt, pimento seeds, Lori seasoning. When Lori seasoning is totally optional, I just love the way it makes the rice taste. It just brings out the flavor, but that's totally optional. But everything that you see me put in initially, that's definitely a must-have when you're making rice and peas. So what you want to do is you're just going to put the lid on and let this cook for a little bit before you add your rice. While I'm doing all of this, the chicken is in the oven and it's just doing its thing. Okay, and I also forgot to mention that I put a tablespoon of butter as well. Butter is a must. Of course, it's totally optional, but butter is a must. So you're going to see me put the rice in. When it comes to making rice, I know a lot of people do this whole 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water ratio. To be honest, when I'm making rice, I don't even think about it. I know you guys saw me using like a measuring cup to put water in the pot initially, but to be honest, that's not something that I normally do. I feel like when you know how to make rice, you just know how much water you need. So please use your discretion. Don't put too much water though, because you don't want your rice to be too soggy. So what you see me doing here with the fork is I'm kind of like measuring to see if the water is at the right height. So I took the chicken out of the oven. It's been 45 minutes, and what I'm going to do is put it back in the oven, and I'm going to turn the oven on broil just to give it that crispy, to darken it up a little bit. So this is when I took it out of the oven, and I'm just showing you guys what it looks like once, because I believe I put it on broil for about 10 minutes. Or about 10 to 15 minutes I put it on broil, and then this is the color that it came out. So this looks like something that you would have got off straight off the grill. So that's the reason why I always put it on broil. This is just a picture that I'm showing you guys, and my rice and peas is pretty much done. Okay, and here you go. Rice and peas jerk chicken. I have some coleslaw on the side. I did make a little sauce. I believe I'll show you guys how to make that next. But that's my jerk barbecue sauce. It's pretty easy. I just use ketchup, barbecue sauce, sugar, and a little bit of the gravy. And here you go. Thank you for watching.